further interest in the Lum Academy, there are flyers up here with more information about this Cohasset Academy. So now it's my pleasure to present the Lum Performance Troupe.
Thank you all for coming out today. We're going to give you a little demonstration today on what classical Chinese Kung Fu involves. We began this morning's performance with a traditional Chinese lion dance. I want to explain a little bit about the significance of the lion in Chinese and Kung Fu culture. The lion dance is traditionally performed at the Chinese New Year and on other special occasions to ensure prosperity and good luck for the coming year or whatever occasion happens to be going on. So this is our gift to you and a way to begin the show to wish you good luck for the 4th and for the rest of the year. We're going to start off today by showing you some of the basic Kung Fu kicking skills that we practice in a typical class routine. Once we complete the kicking practice, then we're going to demonstrate some of the more advanced form performances, ranging from single-person performances to two-person performances up to advanced weapon sets. I want to take this time right now before we start to emphasize to younger members of the audience, the children, that Kung Fu is a very safe, healthy form of exercise and self-defense development, but only if you study under a qualified teacher. It's very important that you children not go home today and try and practice what you see us doing up here on stage. If you see your parents doing it, tell them not to either. All right? Front kick!
Now what we call an eyebrow kick. And next we have what we call a hop and sweep exercise. Go. A little more complicated yet, we have our hurricane kick, followed by a double sweep. Now a single hurricane. And a quadruple combination. That's a butterfly kick. Now a quadruple combination. Now, usually when people think of martial arts, they think of fighting and self-defense. Oftentimes, martial arts are lumped into two general categories, karate and kung fu. Karate and kung fu are really generic terms. There's about 200 different styles of karate and nearly 400 different styles of classical Chinese kung fu. I offer a multifaceted program at the Lum facility in Cohasset, but the main emphasis is on what we call the Lum praying mantis style of kung fu, which comes directly from movements very close to emulating the movements of a praying mantis. We're going to start with Carlo performing the Lum first fist form. weaponry. There are over 20 different weapons that they teach at the Wallum Academy in Cohasset. The first weapon that a student learns is the stick form. Now, many of the weapons lack contemporary value in terms of their self-defense potential. You can't go walking down the street with a long spear or a pair of double broadswords, but there's still a lot of value in the weapon training. Weapon training is analogous to a gymnast in his apparatus. Somebody perhaps who studies gymnastics will spend a period of time developing their floor skills, their rolling skills, etc. And then when they're ready, they move on to the more difficult apparatus, their body and their four limbs, but they have another piece of apparatus, in the case of Kung Fu, a weapon to be responsible. So there's no room for error. It requires in-the-moment concentration, and therein lies the value of weapons training. Eric will perform the right-hand stick form. Soldiers and individuals to protect themselves from marauding four-legged beasts. During their performance, a lot of the movements do in fact look like the movements that a praying mantis might use in battle. Inherent in the Wallum system, we have a number of other animal forms represented in the style. Eric, one of my advanced students, will now perform the leopard paw set. instructors will take each student and teach each student one side of a two-man form. And then we'll pair the students off together and we'll have them fight in a prearranged manner. Now, there's a tremendous depth of concentration, timing, cooperation, and teamwork involved in order to make this form look and perform effectively. Two-man set, one man, one woman. In this particular case, with the straight form, you're going to see an effective fighting form. So look for the fighting movements during the performance. Eric? As in the case of double daggers, or as in this case, a pair of pairs performing the double side. Wall Lum system is actually a combination of two separate Kung Fu styles. Long was the first man to develop a concept of fashioning a Kung Fu system after the movements of a praying mantis. This was over 350 years ago. Subsequently, they are branched off about 10 or 12 different forms or systems of the praying mantis style. In the early 1900s, there was a famous man, a bodyguard, a martial artist in China named Li San, who took refuge in the temple, the Wall Lum Temple in northern China, where he combined his Tom Toy style, which is a seeking leg form, which was his family style, with the praying mantis system that the monk in the temple was teaching. He subsequently combined them and called it, out of respect for the temple, the Wall Lum Tom Toy Northern Praying Mantis, which is actually the full and correct name of the style of Kung Fu we're demonstrating for you today. Representative of the Tom Toy aspect of the Wall Lum system is a second form, going to be performed here by Andy. You'll notice there's a lot of complicated kicking maneuvers in this set. Second form. So dangerous is that we have three sections to control and work with, but we only have two hands to do it. So there's always one section of the stick which is free and not under control. So it requires a tremendous amount of skill and concentration on the part of the user. Concentration, because there's two blades that always need to be kept in check here.
See you later.
Спасибо, Витя.
Такие вроде океаны.
You got a big lens line around your eye. You're looking hard.
Eric.
Hey, did you have a good time?
Yes, I had a blast.
Lots of fun?
I love doing this.
That's great.
I do it for the kids, you know?
Excuse me, sir. What is your name, please?
David.
David, did you have a good time?
Oh, I had a blast.
That's good. Are you tired? You guys tired?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What's the date?
Fourth of July.
4th of July,
Oh, what's the year? I don't remember.
1986.
Why, thank you. And what's your name, please?
My name's Carl Lagerty. I had a great time.
That's good. Excuse me, sir. Jack, is it? How are you today? Did you have a good time? That's great. Nice talking to you guys.
Hey, for real.
What's your name?
My name? Anna. That's it. Yeah. Excuse me, sir. What is your name, please? Yes, I did. Excuse me, sir. What is your name, please?
Santa Claus.
Why, nice to meet you. I've heard a lot about you.
It's all true, too. Okay. Plus, we'll probably stop for ice cream on the way back.
Oi,
No, 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 otro mañana. I'm thinking